Hi. No, this is not the name of some new group, but rather information that has been circulating on the net recently regarding Doria Ragland, the mother of Harry's wife, and her drug use. We know from other unearthed information about Doria that she has used drugs regularly in the past, and probably continues to do so. There also remains the question of the period of time she was away from Harry's wife's life, and some have speculated that it was due to tax offenses, others that it was drug offenses and that she was imprisoned for that period of time. Again, this is speculation about what happened. What we do know for sure is that she was not around. I explained earlier that Doria Ragland is also a narcissist. Examination of her behavior and actions over the years confirms various signs such as feelings of superiority, lack of emotional empathy, display of irresponsibility for her actions, displays of grandiosity, arrogant behavior, various manipulative behaviors, poor boundary recognition, and of course various aspects that demonstrate narcissistic dynamics. The facts support the conclusion that she too is a narcissist. The information that surfaced was dug up on Reddit, in the Say Harry's Wife thread, and someone posting anonymously in another thread circulated their material in the Reddit thread. I leave it to you to judge for yourself the validity of this information. However, as is often the case, narcissists do engage in reprehensible behavior, and the very fact that they are narcissists tends to confirm the validity of the information revealed about them. This doesn't mean that just because someone is a narcissist, it means that they will necessarily be an addict. There are many addicts who are not narcissists. Again, cheating is usually found in the behavior of a narcissist. Non-narcissists cheat too, but it is more commonly seen in narcissist behavior. Just because someone cheats, it doesn't make them a narcissist. You have to look at a whole host of other behaviors over a long period of time. However, narcissists often engage in behaviors that cheat. They constantly lie about stealing, not pulling financial burdens, taking advantage of other people. Of course, there are other narcissists who have good jobs, but tyrannize people in the workplace. So the manifestation of narcissism takes many forms, as I have explained to you in detail in my extensive work. Thank you. The information here reads as follows. So on Easter Monday, I met up with an old friend, writes Anonymous. She's a bit famous because of her work, but that doesn't matter to me, honestly. But because of her work, she has some friends, contacts, and colleagues in different industries and sectors. So what I've heard is that Doria and Harry don't get along. Not at all. Pausing here, that would hardly be surprising. Why? Well, Doria, as a narcissist, needs to assert control over Harry, and in some cases, the way he behaves would be a threat to her control. So, that is, she sees him as a problem and therefore behaves in a way that is disliked by him. For example, if he refuses to do something she wants, it threatens her control, and the type of narcissist she is will probably lash out at him with some kind of verbal attack. It's also possible that she will pit Harry against his wife, for example, by threatening to tell Harry's wife what Harry may or may not have done, or even going to Harry's wife and complaining about Harry. Remember, because Harry is in a state of constant devaluation and Harry's wife interacts with her mother periodically, she is likely to view her mother in a favorable light and Harry in an unfavorable light. And therefore, on those occasions when Doria complains about Harry to his wife, Harry's wife is likely to side with her mother. This may come as a surprise to some of you, thinking that she is more likely to support her spouse. But the fact of the matter is that Harry is almost always portrayed in black. Not all the time, but most of the time. Her mother less often. As a subject she has limited interaction with, she is less likely to be portrayed in black, and instead is more likely to believe what her mother says in order to assert control over her mother by consent, and then assert control over Harry by saying, "What have you done again? How dare you upset my mother?" etc., etc. Accordingly, Doria Ragland's narcissism recognizes the opportunity to play on the contradictions of her daughter and Harry and will do so again and again. The post goes on to explain that she and Harry's wife are horrible and downright cruel to him. My friend knows one of their close friends who is also very shocked by Harry's behavior and very angry with him. But Doria and Harry's wife know not to leave visible traces. But they're not stupid and have cleverly obtained evidence that he threatens and attacks back. Harry's drunken wife is too talkative. Of course, it's not surprising to find that both she and Harry's wife are horrible and downright cruel to him. After all, they are both narcissists, and they will behave in a demeaning manner toward him. Harry, as a strong narcissist, is the only one who has ever seen Harry and Harry. He's the only one who has ever seen Harry and Harry. So there will be occasions, especially when he experiences repeated devaluations, when his strong narcissistic traits of pride, anger, tendency to argue will cause him to fight back. And on those occasions when he does, typical of a narcissist, it is then used against him. "Why are you being so horrible to me, Harry? Why are you threatening me? You're in trouble. You're back on drugs, aren't you?" Narcissus has edited out his own guilt, and the movie starts midway through. Harry only responds to the way he is treated, the manipulation he receives from Doria and Harry's wife. However, when it comes to putting him in his place and leveling the threat of control when he fights back, he is told that he is the protagonist, that he is the perpetrator, that he is the problem, and in those circumstances, he is portrayed as difficult. I don't know what to do. I don't want to be called that. There is no doubt that Doria and Harry's wife have filmed him on camera on numerous occasions, and that they have footage of him in a fit of rage, possibly making threats, probably while under the influence of drugs and alcohol. This was done at the time to assert control over him. But at a later stage, when the narcissist feels that further control over him is needed, these past events will be brought to light. Remember, the type of narcissists that Harry's wife and Doria are not the ones who actually sit around and plan, "Let's provoke Harry and then record it," but rather the ones who, when he starts to lose his temper, record it in order to strangle him with a recording device at that moment to eliminate the threat to control. This material then exists, and at a later stage, when it inevitably threatens their sense of control, narcissism then states that we need to eliminate this threat to control. What do we have in our box of tricks to do that? We have some evidence of his rage attack a couple months ago. Let's bring up the past and use that against him. Accordingly, if these disclosures are accurate, it's no wonder they insult him and behave in this manner. Think of the pictures and videos that will inevitably appear in the documentary Doria made. So she will probably be wandering around with a camera on her phone or a video recorder so she can record and photograph all these snippets on a regular basis. So I suspect that there is a significant amount of evidence that with some editing demonstrates that Harry is the problem, but there are more revelations to come. The information goes on to say that Doria acts like it's her home in Montecito, displaying a sense of superiority, lack of boundaries, and is a petty dictator who thrives on drugs. My friend says she's heard that Doria has purposely gotten Harry addicted to things like psychedelics, and that she's the reason he's so addicted to drugs. Harry's wife just does things like cocaine, marijuana, etc. Again, I leave it to you to determine if this information is accurate. Of course, we know Harry admitted to using drugs. We also know from other evidence that Doria has been taking drugs, and so it's hardly surprising if she continues to take them and encourages Harry to do the same, providing a ready supply of certain psychedelics and other drugs. Not only does this affect Harry's day-to-day abilities, essentially destroying his ability to think straight and remember that he's not initially the most intelligent, if he's under the influence of manipulation and drugs, his ability to find a way out of it all is severely impaired. Furthermore, it creates more evidence to demonstrate that he is unfit, and at the time of separation, subsequent legal procedures regarding divorce and child custody. You can be sure that this information will be used against him. This also, of course, shows the hypocrisy of Harry's wife in regards to how she pretends to be a good mom, unless, of course, it is true that she is currently taking drugs. Her mother's influence is such that it has a negative effect on Prince Harry. She doesn't care. She is a narcissist, and like any narcissist, is driven by the pursuit of base goals. Although again, in her case, she doesn't realize what is going on. She sees him as the problem, so she negatively influences him. And also remember, she will do this to gain favor with her daughter. She will see that Prince Harry has actually exhausted his usefulness, and her daughter is the one with the money, the power, the influence, and being motivated by those things as well. Doria will probably ingratiate herself to her daughter, trying to help her daughter, and she will do that to gain favor with her daughter, and one way to do that, of course, is to regularly portray Prince Harry in an unfavorable light to gain her daughter's approval, and so have access to those things that I just mentioned. This creates a terrible situation for Harry. Even though he's not very smart initially, he's being attacked by his own emotional thinking. And if this information is accurate, the repeated influence of drugs on top of all this, he's caught in a pincer, Doria on his left, Harry's wife on his right, he's stuck in the middle and doesn't know what to do. Thank you for reviewing this information. I hope it helps shed some light on some aspects of the relationships in this family. Please subscribe to my page if you would like to learn more. I wish you a happy new year 2024. Let's strive together for a better future.